Well, in Wrightwood, on my way up Acorn Drive to have a look at Acorn Trail. I don't expect that I'll be trying to go all the way to Mount Baldy today. That's too far and it's too late. It's already 10:30. I'd like to at least have a look at the Acorn Trail conditions, see how the PCT is up on the ridge, and have a look at the North Backbone Trail, and maybe if I'm lucky, have a look at Pine Mountain. All right, let's see how this has fared. Wow, look at this. This is the trail. Look at the water would have been coming down through here. It's just totally annihilated everything. I'm gonna walk around through here. Wow. Yeah, this is gonna be like this for a long time. Right. Here's the trail. And you can see, same thing, giant slide through here. Wow, look at this. The whole river's flowing still. Look at this. Amazing. Just imagine when this was just rampaging. Holy crap. I'm gonna go around. Holy crap, look at that. Amazing. Anyone who's hiked this before is probably at a loss to see anything familiar here. Wow, all right, let's get up here and start the hike. Yeah, this year, because the fire came through here, there's gonna be a poodle dog like crazy. So far, no remaining snow or ice on the north side of Wright Mountain here on the Acorn Trail. Right, approaching one of my favorite views here. I love it when you crest out here. Look down, see the desert out there. That fire really tore this place up. This is actually a little bit icy already in some spots, but it's not a sheer ice field, so I'm fine without any spikes or crampons yet. I don't expect on this stretch it to become treacherous, but I am curious further up. The North Backbone Trail has potential to have problem areas. Approaching the junction with PCT now up on the ridge. I'm kind of used to it now. But when I first came after the fire, I mean, this area is just completely unrecognizable from what it once was. This was a nice wooded area at the top of the ridge, and now it's like this disaster zone. Oh, there's Pine Mountain. Plenty of snow. I'll go have a look, but yeah, I don't really expect to be going up. But it's a nice day. It's early enough to go have a look. Far too late of a start to imagine going far. But I can catch PCT here and go along to where North Backbone Trail begins and at least have a look. But wow, check that out, huh? Pine Mountain looks appropriately respectable. So you can see over here, the road that I'm on carries on over there to where the junction to the North Backbone Trail is, and the Pacific Crest Trail just goes like a little higher up and falls. I'll probably just stay on this road for convenience sake. Let's have a peek at the trail. It looks like some people have walked on it instead of the road. So we're really still just coming up the side of Wright Mountain. There's the summit, there's the slope. PCT basically comes over. So we're on it now. And yeah, we'll continue up this way and then leave PTCT and head north on the North Backbone Trail. But I don't suspect I'll get very far on the North Backbone Trail. So, like I said, I mostly wanted to just come up and have a look to get an understanding of the conditions. There's Mount Baden-Powell over there. Still comfy, just wearing double base layers. It's nice, sunny. In Southern California in the winter when it's sunny and not windy is very easy to manage. Beautiful. It really is a nice mountain. Yeah, so snow is old. We've had pretty warm temperatures since really the snow events. So it's kind of what I expected. It's sort of soft drift. I'm curious as we go further if there's any solid base, or if it's just, post-holing into steep, deep snow, which that's two things that will turn me around is post-holing in deep, steep snow. It's just not fun. I don't have any sort of real strong motivation here. I'm just curious to have a look. So that will turn me around. And then, the only other thing would be like really steep rock hard ice. I on purpose didn't bring rigid boots or crampons. I brought my soft snow boots and a pair of kind of really heavy duty spikes just for easy stuff. And I do have ice axes, plural, and a helmet, so I can cover a lot of ground if I'm motivated. And I don't think I'll be encountering steep rock hard ice. I think it's more likely to be steep deep snow, but we'll see. Coming up here, we leave this trail, hit the North Backbone Trail there, and already I can kind of see that it's a mix. There is still some exposed, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I just want to have a look, because it's a beautiful day. So why not? I have the wherewithal and the equipment to go have a look. And that's could be fun. Okay, here we are. So we say goodbye to the Pacific Crest Trail and head north on the North Backbone Trail. But yeah, like I said, probably not far. If I feel like if I can get to the first fall summit here, the first bump before it goes down and then goes to the real kind of tricky bit, I'll be happy just to get up there. All right. There we go. Yeah, so here's this road. Is this the Blue Ridge Road? It may be. Blue Ridge Road, I forget what it's called. But yeah, there's a little bit of a pull off here. And then the burnt down sign was over here somewhere. And the trail goes down right here. Yeah, here's the old sign. I'm gonna put it back up again. This will be the second time I've put it back up. It doesn't even have the tip anymore. That burned right off. There we go. It's a trail. Because we said so. Such a cool spot. Then down this way, you can sort of see the end of the San Gabriel Mountains and Cajon Pass over there, and then it's the San Bernardino Mountains, San Gorgonio, which we do see eventually, and even across the 10, whatever, on the south side of that, we see Jacinto. It's cool. This is a cool spot. You can really, you're in the middle of everything. Like I said, there's Baden Powell over there, Pine Mountain, Dawson Peak, and the tallest, which is Baldy. And then when you look over this way, you can see Gorgonio eventually, and Jacinto. So that's cool. This is like the crux of it all. I love this area. So there's some footprints. I wonder what people have been up to. Oh yeah, wow, beautiful. Look at Gorgonio. Let's try to zoom all the way. Nice. Be nice to go up there. It's a bit of a drive, but I love it. I love it over there. It's really a beautiful place, and that is a beautiful mountain. And then Jacinto. Let's see if we can see Jacinto. Yeah. There it is. Jacinto seems to have less snow. From this angle, at least. Neat. But yeah, Gorgonio. Gleaming over there. It's pretty. Okay. Nice. And this way, I think. I don't think it goes. Maybe it does. I'd rather stay on the ridge if I could, but I think I go around. Go this side. Either way. Cool. So, got over the first hump. And then this is like the false summit. Like I said, but it's looking kind of passable, right? See some dirt. Let's try it out. Nice. Oh, it's so nice and warm in here right now. The sun is just creating a parabolic stove here and there's no wind. Oh, nice. This is great. I'm so glad I came out today. Okay. This has been a long clip. I'm going to stop for a bit and then I'll clip up again. All right. I'll stay off the snow. There's no reason to be on it. But yeah, you can see it's soft. So on the other side of this, it's probably steep and soft and post-holy. So I probably won't go much further than the false summit. Yeah, this is not icy. It's just a little bit of packed, kind of powdery snow. So yeah, carry on up this section. And yeah, if the snow changes, I'll switch to my spikes. But right now it's not really exposed or that steep or icy. Yeah, more of the same. There hasn't been any surprise icy patches underneath any of this, but these sections that are exposed to sun clearly can get those like rock hard melt sections that you gotta watch out for, because you could step somewhere and it's pure ice. It'd send you off. So yeah, I'm staying in the rock and in the trodden down bits of snow, because it looks like there has been some footprints here. And yeah, just taking it easy. Because like I said, I don't expect to go far today. Ooh, nice. There's our moon. Where is it? I lost it. There it is. All right. That's my first sign. I'm gonna put on some micro spikes. Grab a seat here. It's not treacherous, but there's no reason to be slipping. And my spikes are actually quite beefy. They're not really micro spikes. All right, I'm gonna put my helmet on also. There's no reason not to. I'm on this steepy, slippery stuff. I don't expect to slip or fall anywhere. It's not that bad, but in the freak accident situation, if I did, it's there's no reason to be carrying head protection and not carrying it on your head. So yeah, this warrants it. And I'll put one of these ice axes in my hand also. All right, that feels better. These are pretty beefy spikes. They're still spikes though, they're not crampons. Some company called Hill Sound, they call them trail crampons, but they're not crampons. People shouldn't be allowed to use that term. But they're nice and beefy, and I like that they have the strap. So they're good enough for this. And I didn't want to go anywhere today that actually required any kind of legitimate safety gear, because I'm just out for mosey, just poking around, having a look. So yeah, I got my helmet on and stuff. I've pulled this out. I'll start holding that since we are in the steeps. And I'm going to put another layer on, because now that it's kind of exposed here, there's a bit of air moving around. It's not windy, but there's a breeze and it's chill. All right, heading on. All right, this feels more appropriate. Yeah, this isn't slippery or ice really, but this is a significant steep slope. And in the event of some kind of freak accident, or you start to slide or tumble, certainly want to have a helmet and something to self-arrest with. See? So yeah, it's significantly steep. But yeah, I really like it up here. I just, I love this route. Look at that. That's beautiful. Some icy bits. For the most part, grippy. Wow, beautiful. Nice spot here. Catch some sun. Oh, it's just so nice. I'm so happy I came out today. Is that a squirrel up in the tree chittering at me? Okay. Mount Baden-Powell. Here. At the crest. It's a false summit. Looks like someone camped here. Nice. This is a great hike, really. Coming from town, come up here, camp here. Wow. I should do that more often. I just hike through here. I should come hang out. Okay. So that was the false summit. Pine Mountain for real is here. And it's twice as high as the climb up that false summit, at least. More like a few times higher. And the crux is this. So even in the summer, I mean, it's not difficult, but even in the summer, it's like you're on this ridge going from side to side, and it's often really steep gravels. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have any big draw to get a summit, and absolutely don't have a draw to try to go all the way to Baldy. But I did, like I said, just want to come and have a look. Happy to be here. I'm happy to have gotten up into some snow and gotten up onto the false summit, which was my main objective. And then yeah, so it's gonna keep going, pardon me, and go and have a look. So I'll go down the dip here and follow the ridge line and start climbing it, and then I'll just yeet out of that situation and turn around and come back as soon as it's no longer fun, because I'm not in the mood for a struggle, and I'm certainly not in the mood to take on any risk. Wow, this tree came down, didn't it? I prefer to stay right on the ridge. There's places where the trail goes way off to the side, but you really can just stay up top here. Again, still seeing footprints. Someone came through here. Alright. I'm just leaving my spikes on. There's no point taking them off. Wow, I got hit. closer. So yeah, I do not know what's in store there, and there's a good chance I'll just turn around, but I want to go up into it. You don't have to turn around when it looks like this. You're entirely allowed to go right up into it and see for yourself. And I have the appropriate things that I'm not doing it stupidly. And like I said, I'm not interested in a struggle or any risk today, so I'm feeling good. It's fun. It's just fun when you're just curious and just having a look, because there's no obligations. There's no, what's it called? Expectations. Look at that. So yeah, you can see, well, I've got the wide angle on, so it's harder to see, but it is steep. It's steeper than 45, which is kind of, for me, that's the tipping point. 45 degrees, as long as it's not pure ice, is relatively recoverable in the event of an accident. But once you're steeper than 45, and most especially if there's ice, I mean, this stuff isn't too bad, but if it's packed ice and steeper than 45, that's, no screw up territory. And that's just kind of not what I'm doing today. I'm out for fun. But yeah, cool. Still seeing some footprints also, so someone else who came through here deemed it reasonable to continue. Cool. I'm going to take a little break here and then carry on. I'll go this side. Ow. Bonked my head. But, hey, who's wearing a helmet? It's a little lower than expected. You know, so far not too bad. Wow, this is so beautiful. There has been traffic, you know, so that makes it easier. That packs down like a bit of a shelf. It starts to make traction, you know, it's not as slippery. And just the, you know, the general sort of comfort and confidence, like knowing someone else has come through here is very different than approaching completely clean snow and having no idea, like, about anything. But you should never just follow footprints just because they're there either. So yeah, but yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying myself. It's a lot of fun. Like I keep saying, I'm really, really glad I came out today. I generally have no message in any of my videos. All I'm doing is recording for my own future reference. I like to see beta. I like to see this was the conditions here in January on this year, and I can compare in the future. I post them public because why not? There's no reason not to share trail conditions and stuff. But yeah, if I wanted to be messagey, it would be just get out there. Stop making excuses. Oh yeah, I'm very happy I'm out here. Okay, keep going up. So that's what you don't fall into. And you stay secure on your feet with traction and safety. And take your time. That's where it came from. Went along PCT, emerged there from down in Wrightwood, came up the other side of that, went along PCT, then I've been coming up this way on the north backbone. Wright Mountain. Well, I seem to be continuing up. Not sure what the plan is here, but it's still fun. It's not deep. It's not icy and treacherous. So I will continue. What a great day. I'm gonna switch. Okay, I'm not sure what it's like on this side. It's looking a little icier. I don't like it. I don't like that. Here, I'll demonstrate again. This is why microspikes aren't crampons. So I can get some traction here, especially if I went like sideways, but this is like dumb. You know what I mean? Rigid boots and like inch and a quarter long real crampon spikes are what get you through places like this. And micro spikes are what send you falling. So I'm gonna see if I can just go up the rocks here. And then otherwise I'll see if I can tuck in on the side, but I think I can get up the rocks. Yeah, I think maybe I'll turn this off. I sort of came through the bushes and up over the rock there instead of going around that way because it was sort of slick and slippery and steep. But I didn't like it. I don't think it was even a better option. So returning, I'll probably go that way. And then now I'm starting to notice a change in the snow. So where, well, it's steep, obviously. There is like loose outer layer, and then there's a crumbly icy underneath, which with micro spikes, it just isn't good enough. You just slide. And pretty soon I would be getting into, like I said, rigid boot and crampon. It's just a totally different beast, you know what I mean? When you have an inch and a quarter spikes that are like locked to the bottom of your foot, because it's a rigid boot, it's just a totally different scenario. You're walking like right into the snow. You're not walking on top of it and sliding around on little chains. So I'll go up a little further and have a look. But I suspect I'll be turning around soon, just because I can just tell, even though it's close, it's still got, you know, more steep bits here. So we'll see. I'm turning around here. Like I said, the snow is just different here. It's a totally different story. It's a lot steeper, and it's a very small loose surface, and then underneath it a crumbly loose surface about, you know, half inch deep, and then under that it's packed, solid pack. So as it gets steep, you step and you just slide. And it's steep enough that you could start sliding. Like I said, once it's past 45 degrees, once you start sliding, if it's like actually slippery, you start accelerating immediately, and that's the danger. That's how you die. So yeah, I wouldn't say this is super dangerous, but it's just I don't have the appropriate equipment. This would be a cakewalk with my rigid boots and my legitimate real crampons. But I, on purpose, I think I said it when I first started recording. Today, I on purpose brought my soft boots and just spikes, because I didn't want to get into anything. And if I had it, then I'd be continuing, and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like doing that today. That tree looks really pretty there. What a nice view with Baden Powell in the background and that cliff and that tree. Nice. Yeah, so I'm happy. I'm really stoked that I came out today. It wouldn't be that hard. Like I could get like both my ice axes in both hands and go. But it's just not appropriate. It isn't necessary. So yeah, and I'm, like I said, I'm not out here to do anything gung-ho today. I just wanted to get out for a walk. So this has been perfect. It's fun. I got to play in some snow. I got to come and see. This isn't too bad. So yeah, I would come back with my rigid boots and crampons. And I'm sure, like I said, this is the crux of Pine Mountain and the crux of the whole route, the back way on North Backbone Trail to Mount Baldy after Dawson Peak, 2 more peaks after this. So yeah, so it's good to see. It's entirely doable if I came with a little more motivation and my rigid boots and my actual crampons. So it's good to know. I'll keep an eye on the weather as long as we don't get more snow. This would be good to come back and do sometime soon. Look for another bright day like this where it's just clear. Nice. Well, it would be nice to go up. And like I said, I could, but like you can even see here, this is where I was just sliding. As soon as I step, it's just sliding. Like it doesn't, there's no spikes, do nothing in this sort of terrain. And that's why, like, here's the speech. Crampons and microspikes are 2 completely different things. And unfortunately, most people don't know. Like, everyone who died at Baldy in the past couple of years was wearing microspikes. Like, they didn't have the appropriate gear, and they probably didn't even know that they didn't have the appropriate gear. Because unfortunately, you go to Temu or Amazon and you type in crampons, and you just find like millions of microspikes. People don't understand the difference. And then people say, you need crampons or you will die. And they think, well, I'm fine, I have crampons. But the reality is, you don't have crampons. Look how steep that slope is there. This would be great ski. People do backcountry skiing in the San Gabriels. Look for, what's his name? Andy Lewicki. I think his channel is Sierra Descents. He's been posting for like over 15 years. He comes in and does backcountry skiing in the San Gabriels and up in the Sierra mostly. It's always fun to see. He's got a great channel. Okay, I've been rambling a lot because it's my turnaround. Wow, this is cool. Oh, it would be fun, but yeah, not necessary. And this is cool. This is what I wanted. I wanted some motivation and some excitement and impetus to come back out and do something. So this is giving me exactly that. If I had decided, and they're right in the van too. Like I said, if I decided I wanted a little more adventure today and I had worn my rigid boots and brought my real crampons, I think I could have made it no problem to Pine Mountain. And if I'd come a lot earlier, maybe even Baldy. So, good to know. All right, sorry for the ramble. But wow, it's nice to be up here. I guess I'll turn around and start making my back. I think I'll go down and then, well, obviously there's no choice, but I'll go up to back to the fall summit in the sun there and have a picnic. And then head back to Wrightwood. All right. Making my way down to the dip, the low point on the ridge before I start going back up to the fall summit. Pardon me. Well, that was cool. Glad I went, like I said. I'm really glad that I had a good sense of like what I really felt like doing today or not. Like I said, like I did not wear my rigid boots and I did not bring my crampons on purpose because I didn't want to get into anything serious. So I do that often. That's how I stay safe. I just wear the gear that I don't want to go beyond. So yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm glad. Super comfortable. But yeah, that's neat. I'm glad I didn't like, be on the fence with it, because that would have been worse if I was sitting up there and I had the appropriate gear, but I'm like not very motivated. That's a sad turnaround. Oh, this is awesome. But the fire, oh my goodness. Yes, there it is, Pine Mountain. And this little rise here isn't even the top. It's on its own still, just another fall summit. Over this, there's more, and it gets even steeper. There's more like stuff where it's super steep on both sides. So yeah, like I said, a mountain to be respected. But I want to come back while there's snow, and I want to like keep an eye on the weather. Next time there's a break like this, I'll come back with some motivation. Start earlier, wear my rigid boots, bring crampons. Everything else I got, and I'm fine. But yeah, see, look at this. Start sliding on this. There's no return. All right, I'm gonna switch hands here. Do this appropriately. Whew. All right. see it better now. I was like halfway up this where I turned around, and you can see that it keeps going. There's multiple of those that continue up after it. That is the steepest one, but the one after it has its own points. But yeah, that section there from the gully between the false summit and that is really the steepest part. But like I said, it doesn't end. There's more, plenty more. So yeah, cool. I'm gonna make my way up this way a little bit, get to the top of the false summit here, into some sun, kick back, have a picnic, probably drop a layer. This old trail sign. Picnic time. Nice to sit down in the sun. Got my back to the sun here, feels nice. The best thing about winter is chocolate works. Because chocolate does not work in the summer. Yeah, for sure. So this is the false summit before whatever it is, sorry, peak way up there. And yeah, there's a nice bivvy spot right here under this tree. And I say it every time I pass it, but I'd love to come up here just for the purpose of just camping here. Oh, cool. Hey, buddy. Got some water in me. Here's some cheesy goldfish also in the mood. Oh, that tasted good. Crow's still there, the raven. Oh, it's two ravens. When did that happen? Pardon me. Oh, it's so nice. I could just sit here all day. I'm going to sit here for a while. But I want to make sure I leave in time to not be in too much shade once I'm over the hill. Just noticed it's so clear today you can see the Southern Sierra. I don't believe that's the Tehachapi Mountains. I think that's north of Tehachapi. Really fuzzy. But yeah, I believe that's north of Tehachapi. And that's not the Tehachapi Mountains. it has a very different aspect to it. They don't look like that, but I could be completely mistaken. But I believe that's further north. It's very clear today. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Look at that. Wow. This would be a nice day for a telescope. Like an outdoor daytime telescope for this purpose. Fantastic. I've just been sitting here. It's been about an hour. I really have no interest in going anywhere. This is nice. I'm just happy to be here. This is awesome. Yeah, for sure. I want to camp right here. And I do want to also come back this winter, like I said, with rigid boots and crampons, and go all the way. Go to Baldy and back. But gonna have to just watch the weather. Get another break like this. It'd be great. This was like 2 days of this. No clouds, just beautiful, low wind. So if I find that again, I'll keep an eye on the weather. There's Vincent Gap, where the trailhead is there. For Mount Baden-Powell, at the low part there. Oh, you can actually see the parking lot and the trailhead. Wow. And then, yeah, you go up. Mount Baden-Powell. It's all up. I love that hike, too. That's a great hike from Vincent Gap up to the top there. Wild juxtaposition here. Snowy snowdrift slope here, and then wildfire burnt slopes over there. Kept spikes on. No reason not to. Still got a bit to go here. But yeah, not treacherous. But still no reason not to be prepared. I will switch hands. Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty particular with an ice axe. Just, I always keep it in my uphill hand. That's where I feel the most comfortable. It doesn't matter if it's my right or left hand. It's the uphill hand. That's what's important on a slope like this. I mean, I believe that's what you're supposed to do anyway. That's the point. But it feels the best. Look at this. Look at this slope. Yeah. Yeah, if this was ice, which it isn't. See, you can see it's this, but it goes down to a pretty hard pack. And you get going fast enough, you're just slipping across this stuff when it's steep like this. And if there's nothing underneath for you to stop, look at that. You just go. And people don't understand that. They just see a snow hill and they go, ha 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 ha, snow, so what if I fell? I would just slide and roll down, ha 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 ha. But no, you die. That's what happens. So yeah, I don't screw around with snow and ice and legitimate mountains. Because it can all get away from you much faster than you can possibly imagine. It's really basic physics, especially once things are more steeper than 45 degrees. And once you get on like to just sliding on pure ice, like you accelerate so fast, much faster than you can even stop yourself, even if you had an appropriate device in your hand. In a real situation, like you gotta arrest yourself within seconds, or it's just too late. There's a point of no return. But anyway, yeah, that's not this situation. This isn't super treacherous right now, but like I said, it could be. Once you start going, this sort of grippy surface top doesn't really help you once you get any, degree of speed, especially when underneath, like I said, is packed and icy. So yeah, but whatever. It's overall mostly safe today, as long as you don't do anything stupid. But yeah, I mean, running shoes, you'd be screwed. This is where, at least spikes help a bit, but a lot of times, they don't. What they do is really just scrape away that top layer. Once you're on something steep enough, it actually just helps scrape that top layer down to the real ice that they're too small to really deal with. And once you start sliding, you just keep going. But yeah, anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling. It's beautiful. It's so nice. Let's just have a look again, because we're getting to the end of the snow. It's pretty. So, getting near the end of the snow. Yep, see? Carry on there. Yeah, just what a juxtaposition. Just being in snow and ice and looking at just a complete burn zone. Like I said, all we can do is now watch it, recover in whichever way it recovers. It feels irrecoverable to me, but life marches on. But yeah, just a devastating fire that was. Let's see if I can get in the rhythm here. Keep my 2 points. Alright. And just like that, we're out of the snow. Still gotta climb back up to the saddle and the junction with PCT there. But yeah, we're back in the little sub saddle before the false peak up there, the false summit. This is a cool shot. I want to get a picture of that with the sun coming through like that. That looks cool. Neat. Thumbnail, huh? at the base of the climb here. That goes up to where the road was. And then there's a little climb more to like where the trail is. Remember, the trail and the road are parallel each other. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break here for a bit, drop and pack all my snow gear, and maybe drop a layer really, because the 1,000 or so feet of elevation difference from down that way to up there is really kind of right where the temperature threshold is. It was a lot colder up there, and it's less windy now in here. Although it will be shady as soon as I go over that ridge. I don't know, maybe I'll keep the layer on, who knows. But snow stuff can go. All right. Cool twisty tree. Right. Back here, up at the road. Road goes back. You can also climb up there and get to the Pacific Crest Trail, which parallels the road back to the junction where I catch Acorn Trail down to Wrightwood. Cool. Yeah, so the hump in front here is the false summit, and behind it you go down and then up. And so you can kind of see to the left here, there's a bit of another false summit, and I was about halfway up, well, a little more than half, 2/3 up to that from the bottom of the dip between that and the false summit. There's a lot more space and height between those two than it looks from here. But as I was saying, you can see like that's not the end. Like from there, it's still going up a couple of ridges until you get to the top. The top part's nothing, you're just wandering in the woods. But there was still going to be a little, another rise after that one, so I wasn't necessarily even done. But nice, better to save it for a day that I'm in the mood, and then I bring the appropriate gear. I'm looking forward to it. Now I've had a look, and I know what the conditions are, so I'll keep watching the weather, and as long as it doesn't like rain or snow, some cloudy days is no big deal. But yeah, I'd for sure try to come back if there was another like couple days of this. Like the big deal is the no wind. This was like 3 to 6 miles an hour, and it was going to be sunny and crisp. But yeah, so I don't want to take the road. I want to go back up to the trail for fun, so I'll go back up this way. And here we are, unceremoniously at the Pacific Crest Trail. You would never know if you were hiking this section of the PCT. You wouldn't even know there's the North Backbone Trail here. That's what I really like about it. It's just sort of secluded. Not a lot of people go on it. It takes a bit of effort. Wow, look at this. Wow, looks nice in the sun there. Wow. Too bad this camera doesn't catch the sun well. Whew. just can't stop looking at it. It just looks gorgeous with the snow. It really brings the mountain out, you know, you really see it. Just, wow, it's awesome. I've been a fan of Pine Mountain, but now that I've seen it with snow, I'm even more a fan. What a really pretty mountain. That's the end of the snow. And then, yeah, follow the road back to the junction. And down Acorn Trail to Wrightwood. There you can see it a little better. It's the false summit, down and up. So it's like halfway, 2/3 up that one. And as I said, that is ultimately the crux. It's the steepest part, most kind of ridge-liniest. Wouldn't have been much difficult past it. It just would have been more. But yeah, I didn't feel like continuing up that. But I know what it all looks like, and I feel like it'd be fun to come back. At the junction, PCT and the Acorn Trail. This must have burned when the fire came through, and it must have been replaced. Can't imagine, unless it was just sanded. That old sign for sure burned and got replaced. Yeah, I didn't even notice this on my way in this morning. I wasn't paying attention. I must have walked past it out some other way. It's such a mess. Like I said, just unrecognizable. It's so sad. All right, let's see if I can get in through here. Otherwise, I gotta go around or something. Man. Oh. I think I must have carried on straight out that way this morning and gone past the junction and missed the sign and the bench. Yeah, life goes on, but wow, unfortunate. Just completely unrecognizable up here. It's a wasteland. Woo! Descending Acorn Trail now down into Wrightwood. It's all downhill. Acorn Trail's like a couple miles and like 1,700 feet elevation difference. It's just straight up the side of this mountain. So it's nice on the way back. But yeah, going up, it's a beast of a way to start a hike. But yeah, I love it. Man, if I lived in Wrightwood, I'd be up this trail every single day. 4 miles up and down. See town now down there. Beautiful, what a great day. I just can't express how happy I am that I came out. Clouds moving in. This was the weather window yesterday and today. Really, really glad I came. Okay, it sort of looks like people going this way, but I came this way. Anyway. Find the trail again. It's over there somewhere. Yeah, this is funny. Man, poor through hikers. They're gonna have a bit of a struggle this year. Figuring this out. All right, back down at Acorn Drive. All the stuff that would have been pushed aside with bulldozers that had come down in the mudslide. It's amazing. It really was significant. Right. Back down at the youth camp. They allow parking. They have a little pull off across the road from them. They allow parking, so that's why I always park there. Because you can't actually drive further up Acorn Drive. It's a private road. So it's very nice that they provide that little parking spot. They used to have a QR code so you could make donations, but I don't see the sign anymore. I would gladly make a donation. So that's the end of that. It was about 8.5 miles. And let's see. Oh my goodness. About 3,000 feet of climbing. So yeah, good fun. I'll be back.